Hello, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Ropes. We're pleased to have you join us. We want to talk about why Conor Benn and others, which we'll get into, absolutely aim to fight. I don't want to say bums.
Fight down.
Yeah, fight down. Yeah. Some people would say they're bums. I wouldn't say they're bums. I don't think that's...
I must say, I don't like using the term bums. I try not to use that term
I agree.
It takes cojones and guts to get in that ring and fight.
Yes.
Not anyone can do that. So I think it's very disrespectful to refer to fighters as bums. Obviously, there's a food chain.
There's a food chain, and like let's get into it, because obviously we don't like using the word bums. Both of us have been in the ring. We know what it takes, and it's not our brand. It's not our style.
No, I would never do that.
However, there is definitely something to be said about the fact that, you know, Conor Benn, someone who positions himself as a world title contender, in the fact that, you know, the WBC have made him mandatory and he wants to fight Ryan Garcia, etc., continues to fight opponents that are not in the upswing trajectory of their careers. I think that's the best way of phrasing it. They're either, you know, over the hill, or they're on the verge of retiring, or they just retire straight after the fight that he has with them, or he's got a massive weight advantage over them because they're weight drained and he's doing it at a catch weight and whatever. It always seems to be a stipulation. And this, to me, is something that is just something that's really grating on me, I have to say.
Yeah, I can understand.
And like, I felt that way watching the fight with himself and Regis Prograis over the weekend. Now, in all fairness, my thoughts are that he exhibited some improvements in his technical ability in that fight, and I don't want to take that away from him. However, Regis Prograis, like, he's a tough guy. You know, he's a former world champion, two-time, and he's a tough guy. He's never been stopped in his career. All of that stuff to say the guy is, you know, he's achieved a lot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
However, he's 37 years old. He was coming off a win from Joseph Diaz fight, but prior to that, he'd been on a 2-loss streak.
Back-to-back losses, very convincing, and he'd been dropped in both of those fights.
Exactly. From round one, the guy's legs were not doing what they needed to do to keep the poor guy upright.
Yeah.
You know? And Eddie Hearn had said that anyone who knows that he's not fighting fit. Regis Prograis came out and was like, no, that's not true. I'm absolutely fine. But then, he had to say that, right? Because he's getting in the ring. Then after the fight, he literally listed off like a scroll worth of injuries that he was going into the ring with. And then he retires. Now, why I want to talk about this, because on the night of this fight, I was having a back and forth with a friend of mine. Right. And my friend was saying how, come on, man, credit where credit's due. Like, Conor looks good in there. Conor will fight anyone. You know he'll fight anyone.
Looks good.
So please, tell me your response to that.
Yeah, so listen, you know what? Regis Prograis actually did a lot better than I thought he would. Now, whether that is down to Conor Benn not being as good as he should have been is probably, you know what I mean, a large part to do with that. I disagree with your friend who said that. I didn't think Conor Benn performed well. I think in spells he looked half decent. And yes, you're right. You know what I mean? He is improving in certain areas, but then there are some obvious flaws with him. Number one, he's way too easy to hit. His defense is very porous. I think that Conor Benn needs to learn more ring IQ.
100%.
Fighting meaningful fights against meaningful opponents. That's the only way he's going to get better. Because his ring IQ, I've got to be honest, is not that great. I mean, he has some tremendous physical gifts. You know what I mean? He's young, he's strong, he's powerful.
Not as strong as you once was.
Well, we could talk about that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? He has certain physical gifts that allow him to, you know what I mean, beat guys like Regis Prograis, who is, by the way, a lot bigger, younger, faster, fresher, all of those. But his ring IQ is quite average, I've got to be honest. He fights at the same pace all the time. There's no variation to his work. He throws the same combinations literally all the time. Although, to be fair, he did go to the body later in the fight. That did work for him. But yeah, there's so much work to be done. He has a number of flaws that suggest to me that he's nowhere near ready for a world title fight. Nowhere near.
He isn't. But the thing is that, like, as you were saying, we had a conversation about this off camera, as we typically do, and you pointed out something that was really key, I thought, which is that Conor Benn won't get in the ring with someone that he should be getting in the ring with. For example, the current British welterweight champion was the example that you provided.
Konstantin Ursu.
Yeah.
Who, I saw his last fight. He looked good.
He looked good. And the reason he won't is because, let's say, for example, he gets in the ring and he loses to a Konstantin Ursu. That looks bloody terrible.
It does.
It looks terrible given all of the stuff he said about himself and where he should be and all the rest of it. If he gets in the ring with a Ryan Garcia, who's a world champion, and he loses, well, you know what, the people are going to be like, well, it was a world champion. And they'll find a way to excuse that. So, no, I don't think that he looked particularly good. I don't think that being in the ring with someone who's literally on the verge of retiring is a good test of where you're at, technically. And I think you're absolutely right, Laurie. Like, you're not going to develop your ring generalship and your IQ and your abilities unless you're stepping in with live challenging opponents. And that is something that he hasn't done.
That's right.
And also,
let's be honest, right? That fight there was a showcase fight for Conor to look explosive, to get Regis Prograis out of there, so then he could say, look what I've done to him. No one else has done that. It was going to be one of them. That's what they thought.
Yeah, but he didn't get him out of there.
But he didn't get him out of there. And he actually lost a couple of rounds in the around about the halfway stage. I think he lost 2 rounds back to back. That is not great, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. He won the fight. He won it well. Did he impress? I got to say no. I wasn't impressed, was you?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
I mean, like I said, he won the fight, he won well, there's no disputing that. But there's some obvious flaws in his game. Like I said, the defense, the lack of ring IQ, there's the same patterns.
Yeah.
He needs to learn how to vary his work. The power has not been there. I mean, you mentioned it before. Let's talk about it now. And listen, it's impossible to ignore this. So what I'm saying now is facts. It's not me.
It's an objective fact, guys. Don't come at us. Yeah. It's an objective fact.
Whatever you want to say, this is fact. Since Conor served those bans in 2022 and he's come back to the ring, I think he's had 5, maybe 6 fights now. He's not recorded a single stoppage.
Right.
Whereas prior to that, he had those back-to-back blowouts of Chris Algieri, Chris Van Heerden. A few fights before that, he'd absolutely destroyed Sammy Vargas, who was, supposed to be a decent test for him at that level. And he was looking powerful, explosive, and he was hurting, man. You know what I mean? We've not seen signs of that. So even that. Then there was a going up and down in weight.
And he looked weight drained.
Yeah,
he looked weight drained.
So,
he looked like the thing that was happening to his face.
And I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, so who we got as champions? We've got WBC, Ryan Garcia. He does not beat Ryan Garcia.
Hell no.
WB, is it Rolly Romero? He
Yeah.
doesn't beat him.
No.
I think he gets stopped or beaten by him. WBO, Devin Haney, I think he gets outclassed by Haney, possibly even stopped. And even the IBF champion, I say even, I shouldn't really say even, but the IBF champion is a guy called Lewis Crocker. He's from Belfast. Very skilled fighter. Conor does not beat him.
No.
Not this version of Conor Benn.
Definitely not.
He's calling out Ryan Garcia and all those guys. I don't think he's ready for them yet. I honestly don't. He's made some improvements. But to me, he's not a world-class fighter.
No, and you'd have to make some improvements. Listen, if you're in the gym as much as Conor Benn's in the gym, you'd bloody hope you're making some improvements. But I want to actually read out some fighter reactions following the Conor Benn fight that circulated online. So you've got Jack Catterall with this emoji. You've got Josh Kelly with wow, this emoji.
Mind you, they are potential rivals, so you can understand why they would do that. But even so.
Yeah. Devin Haney, Conor Benn, stay away. Ryan Garcia, Conor bum.
Wow.
Lamont Roach Jr., I know some MF's mad. They ain't cash out the Conor Benn lick. He buns. Even Regis in his prime would have beat his ass. Which I think he would. Regis is a good fighter.
Yeah, he was
like
a good fighter,
I remember Regis from back in the day. Like he was.
Well, him and Josh Taylor went life and death.
Right.
That fight could have gone either way. And Josh Taylor has been one of our best champions.
Yeah.
In the last
He's
X
class.
amount of years.
He's class.
So yeah, you would have to say yes. Look, Conor is.
Wait. There's one more. This is my favourite one. Shakur Stevenson. If he makes it 12 rounds with me, I'll be disappointed in myself.
Wow. So as you can see, pretty damning.
People are not rating what Conor Benn is serving.
And you know why you know as well that those guys are not impressed? Because let's just say Conor had gone in there and wiped out Regis and looked devastating. I guarantee you, Ryan Garcia, he would have been saying stuff like, we can make that fight happen next year. I'm the ace. You know what I mean? You know the way, you know the code.
100%.
There's certain boxers speak or boxers code for when they're not really sure or they don't really fancy it.
Yeah.
But when they're actively saying, look, what? Yeah, let's do it. And he's a bum and this, you know.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm objective. I want to see Conor do well. I actually know his dad. I know Nigel Benn. Met him back in the day. Great guy, great champion, British boxing legend. Even though I don't approve of some of the stuff that Conor did. I did a video on my channel where I was lambasting him for the stuff he said when he disrespected Duke McKenzie. But I do want to see him do well. But I'm just keeping it 100. He is not ready yet. And he's trying to fast track himself to a world title. And in a way, I see why he's doing it. The money he's getting, the attention and all that. But if you strip it down, you analyse his skill set, he's nowhere near ready for a world title.
Man's got a huge...
He's not won a legitimate title. He's not even won a Southern Area. He's not won a British. He's not won a European title. And all of a sudden, you want to fight a weight-drained Chris Eubank Jr., over-the-hill Regis Prograis, whose best work, by the way, was at light welterweight. That fight the other day was at 150. That's like middle.
Yeah.
And based off the back of that, you're made #1 challenger. Nah.
It's absolutely preposterous. And this is the thing. I think I'm a little bit different to you in the sense of like I don't have any horses in the race in terms of wanting him to do well or not. The thing I really want to see with Conor, which is just probably so bizarre, but I actually just want to see some character development. Like, you know, I am so tired of him like painting this narrative of like, I'm just this good guy that's had this misfortune of like being in boxing at the wrong time. I can't stand it, Laurie. I can't stand it for a second. So I actually want to see some character development, and I want to see him in with people at like who are going to test him and fights that are deserving of his level and not, you know, fighting 20 paces ahead. However, while we're on the subject of, you know, fighting people and developing and things like that, obviously this weekend, the Callum Smith fight with David Morrell got cancelled because...
I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, because of an injury that was sustained during training camp. Cool. The main event was then replaced with Ben Whitaker, and he's facing Suarez. Now, I did a video on my channel, MZ Melissa's Ad Boxing, go check it out. But if you're looking at Suarez's record, you know, he's had 25 fights. Of those, he had 21 wins, 20 of those by way of stoppage. It looks decent.
He's a big puncher.
A little bit like Ben Whitaker's last opponent that had this big record that sort of looked decent, right?
Yeah.
But if you guys remember, Suarez came to the UK and he fought Lyndon Arthur. He lost on UK soil to Lyndon Arthur. He got stopped, and that was for a title at the time, I believe. Now, Ben Whitaker has replaced this main event with this fighter. People are up in arms about it because they were obviously looking forward to a huge light heavyweight dust up.
Yeah.
But when I did the video on my channel, a lot of people came for me in the comments. Not came for me, that's a bit strong. But a lot of people disagreed with me in the comments because I said, this is the time that Ben should be facing decent opposition. You know, these big...
They had got you for that?
Yeah. Because I was...
She's right.
Yeah, thank you.
And listen, I'm a fan of Ben Whitaker.
Yeah,
I like Ben. I think he's great. I think he's very talented. I think he's great for boxing. I know he's a bit of a polarising figure because some of his antics in the ring, some people don't appreciate it. I remember I was at one of his fights when he was doing the Matrix stuff and all that, and I found it funny.
I like Ben.
Yeah, so I like him. I think he's a great kid.
But I also think, if not now, then when?
Exactly. I mean, he's 28 years old, man.
And he's like 11 fights deep.
Yeah, and he's an Olympic silver medalist.
Right.
And to be an Olympic silver medalist, that means you're coming into the pro game, you're already advanced, because he would have been fighting guys as a top amateur, right, that are way better than any of his opponents that he's faced so far.
100%.
That's just facts. I know it's 3 rounds and not 10, but the point is the same.
Yeah.
He would have been mixing and sparring and fighting guys that are way better than the likes of Brian Suarez.
I agree.
He is probably in the prime of, if not prime, close to it.
He's close to. He's verging the
He's
border
28.
of the
He's
prime.
not 21.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
only had 11 fights.
Yeah.
Right? He needs to get a move on.
That's exactly what I said. And the comparison I drew was that, which I then had to back up. But anyway, the comparison I drew was Craig Richards when he got in the ring with Dimitri Bivol. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's not ready," yada yada yada. In the end, Craig Richards lost by a round and half a round. You know, he makes me memorize that because you know,
He did perform well.
He performed really well. His stock absolutely went up from that fight, and it aged super well. Now, somebody replied to me saying, "Yeah, but Ben Whitaker is no Craig Richards. By that time, Craig had already won a British title, etc., etc." Fair point. However, Craig Richards had been tested in 50-50s from about fight 7 of his career.
I think what it is as well, though.
And Ben's an Olympic silver medalist.
Yeah, I think to be fair, though, and again, no disrespect, but with Craig, he's not going to be offered the same level of protection because with a guy like Ben Whitaker, the promoters, they've invested so much in him. They want to build him to that world title
totally
fight.
agree.
Whereas Craig, no disrespect, he's not that guy. So he hasn't had the same level of investment, so they're not going to protect him in the same way that they would. It's just the way the game works. But that being said, though,
but it doesn't make
a bit
it
like
right.
Conor Benn, Ben's not won a domestic title yet, like a British title. He should have been fighting for one by now. I mean, the current British champion is a guy called Louis Edmondson. Now, that should be food for Ben Whitaker. Talent-wise, it is. Because I've seen Louis Edmondson, he's not that good. He's decent, but he's, you know what I'm saying, right? There's levels to this.
Yeah, there's levels. There's levels.
Ben's talent level is way above Louis. So why not acquire a British title, a European title? I mean, the European title, the EBU, is vacant right now. I think there's an Italian guy and a Polish guy going to fight for it sometime in May. Those are the fights that Ben should be fighting en route to a world title. Because, listen, he's not ready for the likes of the champions yet, like Bivol and Benavidez. And even Benavidez, he's going to fight a cruiserweight. So those titles will become vacant. But I get it. There are some heavy hitters around at light heavy. So he's a project that they got to build. But even so, this guy, Lyndon Arthur beat him already.
Exactly. But in my head, I'm like, why not make Ben Whitaker versus Dan Aziz?
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have such a strong pool of light heavyweights in the country. Make one of those fights. Stop giving him these
Ben
guys.
Whitaker versus Craig Richards.
Absolutely.
That would be a much better fight because
Huge.
Craig will be coming to win.
Yeah, of course. And actually, I think Craig will win that fight.
You do, right?
I do.
Wow. See, there you go.
I think Craig wins that fight.
So that's what I'm saying. So why is Ben, if he's as good as what we think he is, why is he not fighting like better opponents?
I agree.
Because the opponents he's fought so far, okay, I know he had the duel fight with Liam Cameron and stuff like that. The first fight didn't really go that well. A lot of people accused Ben of bottling it. I wasn't one of them. I said, listen, I believed him when he said he had the injury. And you saw what he did in the rematch. This guy is very talented. He can punch. He's got skills. He's got the character. He's got the look. You know what I'm saying? Put him in with some guy. We want to see how good he is. Yeah, I'm not saying put him in with a killer, but this guy from Argentina is not the one, bro. Like, even if he beats him, if Ben Whitaker goes out there and knocks him out in the second round, you know what the reaction will be? Everyone will go, so what? The guy, you know what I mean? Whereas if he'd have done that to a Craig Richards now, we'd be like, yeah, hey, man.
Yeah, because it won't happen, that's why. I'm biased. Craig's my friend, so it is what it is.
Craig is a good guy.
He's a good guy, and he's a great operator. And let me tell you, like, he's got a wealth of experience. He's been in there with world champions. He knows what's up. That's why they're not making that fight, because they also don't think that Ben Whitaker's going to win that fight.
Well, I would beg to differ. I would make Craig the favourite. Sorry, I would make Ben the favourite. But listen, Craig is a good fighter. He beat my guy Dan Aziz. Good stoppage win over in Ghana, that fight, wasn't it? Yeah,
12-round stoppage.
Yeah.
Huge stoppage.
Yeah,
off
and
a left
to do
hook.
that to Dan, who's a very good fighter himself, that's good work. So you make a great point.
He's knocked out
Ben
the last
Whitaker
3 of his opponents.
versus Craig Richards.
That's the fight we want.
That's the fight we want. That's the fight that... It's a fight for the Melissa Zad belt. No, but seriously, Ben needs to fight better opponents.
Agree. Absolutely agree. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think about the current level of opponents that Ben is facing and who you would like to see him fight next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. In the meantime, hit that like button, share, subscribe, do all that stuff there. And we look forward to catching you on the next episode of Beyond the Ropes.